Hello everyone. Today we're going to be learning about Microstation 3D, precisely Microstation Connect Edition 3D. So Microstation 3D has a few interesting ways that allows you to model items in 3D. It is a combination with CAD software similar to AutoCAD 3D, and it also allows you to make perspective sections and things like that. You can even import your SketchUp models and create perspective sections, and one of the most amazing things about Microstation 3D is the efficiency of the Boolean system, which is something that we're going to be looking into in a bit further down this tutorial. So whereas every software like Rhino or Revit, AutoCAD, they all have some Boolean operations, which allows you to subtract volumes from other volumes or add to them. Microstation does it with a much greater efficiency. Where others would fail, Microstation would just do it in seconds. It's just very well optimized for that. So we're going to begin by creating a new file. Now, when you're creating a new file, just press on it there, you have some options here. So there's like a different seed files and so on and so forth. What we need to do is we need to browse here and get a 3D metric design seed file. So essentially this is where we set up what kind of project we're going to be having, if it's going to be 2D, if it's going to be 3D. In this case, we want it to be a 3D. Imperial would be if you were in America, but we are in metric. So 3D metric design would be okay, and we'll press OK. So now what we'll do is it'll create a file that's 3D metric design. So what we need to do, we need to save that file. I'll save it on my desktop, and I can save it as 3D tutorial. And click open. So there are a few differences to a 2D and a 3D Microstation so workflow. First, you'll notice is the let's just minimize that, we don't need it. You'll notice that there's three views. There's the isometric view by default, the top view, and the front view. Basically, what you need to know is that each one of these workflows, so drawing, modeling, visualization, and task navigation, have a different array of tools that helps you in each case. So a drawing, when drawing something, so let's go ahead and create a smart line. Actually, if you press the space button, it has the pop-up menu, and you can select what you're going to do. It says placement, and we want to place a smart line. So our X, Y's, and Z is set in this direction. And you can see how we have X, Y, and Z opened up here. In a 3D environment, that is what you would basically have. In a 2D environment, you will only have X and Y. Now, similar to our other Microstation tutorial, placing lines, everything works the same, except for some slight differences. Now, as you can see, our smart Accudraw tool here is not really aligned to any kind of any kind of dimension that we want to draw. This is where there are a few shortcuts that allow you to create and align this tool. So if we press T, for example, you see how it creates it rotates so that it allows us to draw in this direction, aligned to the top view. If we press F, it's now drawing in accordance to the front view. If we press S, it becomes into the side view. Now, this is how you would generally draw in accordance to your origin here. You can change your origin So let's draw some shape that's not aligned to anything. Also, if you draw closed shapes, they become surfaces. But if we are to, let's say I want to align to that side, we can create the shortcut RE, right? And what it allows us to do is, it opens up the Accudraw element, and it allows us to move, as you can see, by just moving the direction, to align to a specific side. So let's say I want to draw 90 degrees to this line. I would select this and then draw 90 degrees to there. You can see how it gets highlighted. That means that it's locked in this direction. You can also lock the direction by just pressing enter. And then we can place a distance of, let's say, 5, and so on and so forth. And then we can draw like this. And we can even reference that if we lock the direction, press enter, we can reference that it's going here. So this is essentially your way of creating and drawing in a 3-dimensional environment. You can even draw on the vertical, so you can have a front view. You can draw vertically upwards, and then again you can press RE to align it to here. So you can draw on this direction, press enter, draw up to here, and then downwards like that. Now we're creating a side. So this is how you create. You basically work with Accudraw in a 3D environment in Microstation. So you can have your original direction, your origin here, your XY, which you can change if your building is arranged in a specific way. Because this, generally, what you would do is you can arrange this towards the true north of your site, if you want to be drawing like that, or towards a side of your building that's more prevalent, so the orientation of the building. But sometimes, you might have shapes that are like this, irregular, and don't follow a strict 90 degrees angle. So that's where you would use the RE command to change the orientation. Now, there's a couple of other things with Accudraw as well. So if we press on the shape here, and we press, let's press T for now, and T, yep, and then we press the letter M. You can see how it changes. So this is more towards, you see down here, distance and angle. So if you want to draw an angle or something like that, or to a certain degree, an angle to where the origin point is, this is how you would do it. You press M, and then it allows you to input those parameters in there. Otherwise, you go back to the X and Y. So it's M for shortcut. And yeah, that's basically the basic tools for drawing a particular shape, or modifying a shape, or adding to a shape using and controlling Accudraw. Now there's a couple of other things we need to go through as well. If you are, let's go into a rotate view, because that's basically what you're interested in, is to controlling these views. If we go here, view rotate, and we basically click on it, we can rotate our view in accordance to where our mouse was. If we left click and use the left and right click at the same time, we can create a snap, what it's called, snap, or you can do it basically a temporary snap by pressing right click and shift and nope, that's not right, sorry. If you create shift and it's a shift and center mouse key. But left and right click is what you want at the same time. You create a snap, and then when you use the rotate view, you can ideally just rotate around that center. You can even, if you keep your left click pressed on it, you can select. You can even open it as a toolbox. You can have it here. You can select from the normal views, right view, isometric views, left isometric views, you know, bottom, back, front. So that's a good way of going about it. Or you can, as I said, left click and rotate accordingly. You can use the, if you double click, if you right click on the snap, it disappears, so it's no longer there. And then what remains is wherever your last mouse click was when you press this. So if we just right click on this to remove it, and we say here, or the center of your screen, that's where it will start rotating from. So I would suggest you guys get familiar with the snap, because it becomes a lot easier. So left and right click, and then when you rotate, you can even move this around. When you rotate, it rotates around that point, so it gives you a lot of control. Now there's also other things here in the views that we can do. We can change the type of view, the display style. And in order to do that is you can keep a left click pressed here, and you can open display styles dialog here, and you can look at the different displays that are available, and you can even modify them if you wish. So if you want them to have a specific color, so if you have like illustration, for example, you can change the background color, you can change the line color, and you have like a little preview down here. For now, I'm just going to select hidden line or modeling, like that, and then we can see. You can even place shadows if you really want to, so you can have sky sphere or realistic. Sky sphere will just create this. Realistic. So realistic basically displays it as you would set the materials. So it's almost like a render. But yeah, shadows, there we go. You can see the shadows. So this is how you would change your views. Now, a couple of other things we need to go through as an introductory tutorial is the workflows, as I've mentioned before. So a drawing workflow, and we're going to go ahead and draw it like a simple shape for now. We can even fit to view as zoom extents, basically, right here. We can even draw, yeah, let's do it. Let's create a smart line here and draw a simple shape. Top. And you know what, we're just going to create an isometric view because that's how I want to see it. That's a lot easier. Right, so we're just going to create a simple shape, a simple cube of 5 by 5 by 5. And here. Right, so we have a little cube here, but it's not really a cube, it's just a surface. In order to make it a cube, we have to move away from the drawing workflow and go into the modeling workflow. So what a modeling workflow allows you to do is it changes the tools that are available for you. As you can see here, curves, solid surfaces, meshes, and also changes the pop-up tools. So whereas in the drawing pack here, if we press space and we say, okay, we want to have our tools for placing, you'll see that it's all lines, arcs, offsets, so anything that has to do in 2D. That's a drawing workflow. Also, at the same time, if we press space and we go into the modify, you'll see that all our modify elements are as well on 2D. Now, if we change our workflow, right, if we go into the modeling workflow and we press space, and we go into placement again, you'll see that now it's become solids, you know. And also now if we press space again and we go into the modify, you'll see that it's all about modifying solids. So we'll go into the solids, and we have a surface here, and we wish to create a solid out of it. So we're going to extrude it. And when you press the extrude, solid by extrusion, you can see here that it has some options. So there's use active attributes, meaning that whatever attributes I have, so whatever layers I have on, those are the attributes that are going to be created when I'm doing this. So whereas if I don't click this, then whatever this surface has as an attribute, that will be considered the attribute that I'm carrying forward. There's also keep original. So if I want to extrude this and create a solid, but I also want to keep the surface, the original surface underneath, you will press that. And then you can always set the distance, which we will once we pressed it here. We just want to make it into a cube, so it was 5 by 5 by 5, and then we left click. Remember, Microstation, left click means to accept a command, not enter, like in Accudraw, and right click is to cancel a command, not escape. So now we have our first cube, and we can do a lot of things to the cube. We can modify it if we really want to. So if we press modify solid, you'll see that there are a few options. We can modify a face, so we can select the top face, for example, and we can modify it. When I right click, it cancels the command, but it can also allow you to change between things. So if you are, let's say, pressing here, but you meant the back surface, if you left click, what it'll do is first it will enter that solid and it allows you to select the face. But if I press here, I'm saying, oh, sorry, that's not the face that I wanted to. If I right click, you'll select the other one that's behind it. That's also what I wanted. So, and then right click again, it goes back into selecting the face that you want, and so on and so forth. So it's a very smart way of going about it. So that's selecting the faces. You can also then select the edges. So I can select whatever edge I want. Let's say I want this edge, and I want to, that's in this direction, but if I go into F, I can change it in that direction. So whatever direction I want, I can create the solid that I need. We can go Control Z if we don't like that. And the last one is the vertex. So this is where we select the edges themselves, and we change the edges themselves to create things like this. Yeah, we're just going to Control Z. Control Z. Now everything else works exactly the same. So all your drawing tools would work the same as in 2D, which we've gone through in the previous tutorial. So if we go into, let's say, if we want to copy, you can copy this element as it is. It doesn't matter if it's 3D. The command is still the same. So, you know, I can make various copies of it. Let's just create loads of copies of this. And let's make it the top, so it's like that. Like this. We're just going to make a ton of these as copies. Just a lot of copies. And then what I'll do is I'll copy one on the top there, and we'll just make some more copies like that. Right, like this. Right click, we'll select all of these and we'll repeat the command copy. All of that. We'll just copy it in various directions like this. Like so. So you see how many elements I'm creating, how many 3D elements I am creating, which in other software it might cause problems, but it's very well optimized to handle these type of things. So I'm just going to select these things and I'm going to delete them. Just gonna rotate my view just to make sure that I haven't left anything there. Nope, nothing. Okay, good. So now I have these volumes here. What I'm going to do is I am going to try and modify my element. I'm going to create a big, first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go back into the modeling tab, into my solids, and I'm going to create a slab, right? I'm going to create a slab that's going to be just covering this whole thing. And we can change our view to the top to make sure that we are there, yeah. So here, and we don't need it to be huge. Oops, we just need it to cover up this space here. A little on the top, like this. So you can see that. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to create a Boolean operation. So this is what this software is very good for, is if you have very complex geometries, and you can import geometries as well from other software. It doesn't necessarily have to be created here. But what you can do is you can do a Boolean operation whereby you can press space, you can do modify tab, and there's the Boolean operations. And we do a difference feature. So we first select the thing we want to delete, and then all the other elements that are going to be deleted from it.